Hello again. Welcome back to the Jam Pack podcast. I'm here with Joseph.
Hello, guys. Hello, B's and G's.
And I'm here with Michael.
Yeah.
Very strange intro, but you do get some strange noises from that one. And this week it's my taste breakers. So I've chosen 10, taste breaking albums. Not ones that we wouldn't normally listen to.
Yeah, they've got a good mix in there. I think better than the ones that I brought up.
So let's get right into it if you're all happy.
Mm-hmm. I like how Joe said yours list was better, and instead of going like, no, I like some of your list, Alex just went,
yeah, carry on.
Well, first up, we've got Volcano Choir with an album called Repave.
I think when I first started listening, I heard Justin Vernon's voice, and I was just sort of, and then I was like, right, is this Justin Vernon? Googled, it was like 2009, so the same time that like forever ago when the Bon Iver self-titled, and I think it follows that sort of sound that they go for, and just like there's a lot of emptiness, and it feels like it's supposed to be filled by how deep and meaningful the lyrics are.
There definitely was a lot of emptiness.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way.
It's intentionally an atmospheric album. It's not something that you'd, potentially go into thinking, oh, I need a song to hype me up or anything like that. Obviously not, but it's more just kind of a chill out, put it on, and you can concentrate on something else. Yeah. But it's there, and it's there.
I think
it's a good backing.
As well, though, that sort of side of it affects like the quality of it, because as well, like it's sort of like I can't remember like specific things from it. I just remember that. I think that's one thing that like, I think that's the problem when it comes to like relaxing sort of albums. Like you sort of let your mind switch off and you don't really concentrate on it. And I feel like I get that from that album, but I think as well that's sort of part of the artistic direction that he was going for with it.
I would say that I've never really, I've as much as I've heard about Bon Iver, never really dove into it. I respect his influence, but I've never been one to seek out the solo work, because I didn't think that the noise would be something like the kind of sound would be something that I would
relaxing,
enjoy.
Sort of, melancholic type.
Because when I like atmospheric music, that's also unsettling,
eerie.
Yeah,
there you go.
Like the Maisie Fly spelling album. Like I like that kind of stuff, but I got the merit to the album. It created a very nice sound, but it's just not something I'd listen to for an album.
Yeah. Okay, that's kind of what I expected, but this next one, it's one of my top albums of all time. I discovered it quite recently actually through it's my underground UK hip-hop venture. Yeah. I've been just going through artists and Spotify recommended, and I'm actually going to see the Four Owls, who are big underground UK hip-hop acts.
Yeah. Just going to pop this in here. Have you listened to Year of the Monkey by Dabbler?
I have. Yes! That is a great album.
Fucking great album.
But anyways, back to the point. The album it's Jam Baxter and Ed Scissor. It's like a collaborative album called Laminated Cakes.
Oh my God. I think I went into it and I think the album cover, it's a bit weird. I wasn't really know what to expect, but like you could tell it was going to be like a weird album, and then the first track's like 1 minute long, and then the second track was like a 5-minute track, and he just starts rapping, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm feeling this. And
that second track went hard.
I think just coming off the back of this album, I was sat there like, I love this album way more than a Tastebreaker album is supposed to make me sort of feel towards it. Like I just thought this was amazing.
Yeah, I must admit, I really did find myself enjoying this album a lot.
I think that was it. I was rushing through the rest of the albums just so I could go back to this album and keep listening to it, because I just love it.
Yeah. I've probably found it about a month ago, and I must have heard it maybe 15 or 20 times, and I'm still enjoying it. But it's the themes and the imagery are so dark. Yeah. But then some of the actual kind of collective of the album, Fairy Cakes is one of the songs. Excellent Donut, Dream Cake.
I think you get like that sort of dark in the instrumentals as well, and like it was sort of, in a way, sort of off-putting the production on it. Yeah, and I think it matches the themes that he talked about so well. And then I
liked how like you're saying, like all of it made sense. Like the kind of the fun, like kind of sugary nature of having a cake. or something sweet.
It was just the irony,
and then it was just like
the ton of raw flesh kind of vibe that they brought to it. The gritty, rough.
Nothing like a cake.
It's like when you see like children's TV shows, but they're scary. They've got a scary aspect to it, and I think that's
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Well, Jam Baxter is such a good storyteller because he's got another song called "For a Limited Time Only," and the first half of the song he's talking about. He's singing from the perspective of an advertiser on TV, saying, you know, for just $14.99 you can get, you know, like a life of crime. And then he, like halfway through the song, it kind of switches up, and he wakes up as the consumer. And he's like, how long have I been watching these? And, you know, he's lost all his money, spent it all, and that's another good song I'd recommend you to listen to.
I first listened to Jam Baxter off the Dabbler album because he features on Vomit, which is a fantastic song, which I'd implore people to listen to, because you can find it in our September Jams playlist on Spotify.
Follow us on Spotify, Jam Pack Podcast.
Cheeky plug. Right. Unfortunately, we have to move on to the next album.
Gutted.
It is a shame. It's Woo Life, as in WULYF, and the album's called Go Tell Fire to the Mountain.
I'm sorry. I think going through this album, it was just, I think the way that it was mixed, like the voices of them sounded like a chant sort of thing, and it was supposed to be like kind of anthemic, and I just felt like it was always sort of kind of under the instrumentation. So I don't know. I just something that was just weird about this album.
I know that this album entered my ears. I know that I listened, but can I think of anything that kind of jumped out and that stuck in my head? No.
Yeah. Well, it's a group from Manchester. And they are English, but the way... Sorry?
From Manchester?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. But the way they do it is, you know, almost not understandable cult-like chanting that you can't hear. And I think that's kind of the aesthetic they're going for.
Because I definitely got a similar sort of vibe to the Volcano Choir album. And then just a different way with like more drums and sort of like an anthemic type of sort of way they went with it, but like Mickey said, it just didn't really stick with me. I didn't really know what was going on.
I heard something that deserved merit, but I can't merit it because it just didn't
click.
Yeah.
Well, next up we've got a big contrast to that.
I fucking love this.
I'm surprised that Mickey said that, and from the look on Joe's face, it also looks like he likes it. It's Pavan Tengu. It's a various artist collective, but it's called Pavan Tengu Presents. It's a garage / techno album.
It was really good.
A lot of big garage and techno artists at the moment.
Oh right, okay. I think that was it. I think looking at it, I didn't really know what to expect, but then I heard the first song and I was like, right, okay, this is just going to be like, you know, dance music straight through. We'll see if I like it. But I think from the first track, it definitely had me like caught on. Like I definitely like was hooked and wanted to listen to more. And I think that's it. It just kept up that sort of energy and just sort of altered it a little bit, so it was like you wanted to keep it there, as opposed to acid rock.
It's varied enough to keep you interested, because a lot of the issues with techno it's all kind of the same.
I think that's
but the album being a collective with different artists brings so much together, and I'm glad that it made you actually find a techno album you enjoy.
I really did enjoy the various kind of artists thing, because it's strung together. But every song had its own little like thing that popped about it, like a noise that you could pick out, or like a certain like a rhythm, or like a kind of like groove that you can just get into.
Yeah.
And you never felt like the next album had the same. There was always something else. Like the next song had never had something the same. You were listening to something different. Like your focus and the way you were pinpointing your ears was different on every song.
Yeah.
Right. We'd best move on. Next up is Crooked Colours, Vera. It's a similar album in genre, just toned down quite a lot to a more poppy influence.
Yeah, I definitely got that. I definitely sort of like poppy and definitely more listenable, like definitely more palatable. And I did quite like that. I thought it was like some of the songs were quite catchy, like the Shine On, is that what it's called? I did quite like that one because that stuck with me. And I think some of the effects that they had on the instrumentals I did quite enjoy.
This one was sugary, unlike the
Jam Baxter.
This one, it sounded really nice on my ears. Like I don't know if there's much that I could take away from it from that in my personal listening experience. But for something that I'd want to I might put on a song or two from, like in a queue, if I wanted to hear something that kind of was like glittery and nice, I'd definitely put it on.
I think that's it. It's definitely one to just sort of like relax to and space out to. I definitely get that from listening to this album.
I'd play FIFA to it.
Right, next up it's Lee Scott with Lou Reed 2000.
I think I said this last night. I draw parallels to the Andrew Jackson Jihad album and this album, just in the way that it's sort of raw, unfiltered, sort of this is what's going on. I'm upset. I'm going to tell you. Balls to the wall sort of attitude, but it keeps the dark themes in the instrumentals as well. I definitely got that from this album, and I do quite like that, and as well the British grit that he sort of has in his voice. I do like that.
Yeah, it was definitely like, it was something that, it was an itch that I needed scratching, to be fair, because I've been listening to a lot of like Slow Tie, like, because he has that kind of gritty voice, but sometimes the instrumentals like go like a bit. They're not as... These instrumentals are slow. They're brooding. Like, the kind of noise of these instrumentals is quite different. Yeah. Like, it sounds like an instrumental that, like, we talk, like, throwback to then, like, Alex put me onto Loyal Kana. Sounds like something that he would hop on if he was really upset.
Yeah.
Because they're so dark, yet they have that slow kind of jazz kind of grooves that you hear coming through, but at the same time, it's kind of demented.
It's a good fusion of genres.
It was the instrumental palette's really nice, and he rides them like you'd want someone to ride an instrumental like that.
Well, next up we've got it's the Fat Boys, All Meat No Filler. Yes! The best of the Fat Boys.
Fucking love Fat Boys.
I'll let Mickey go for this one.
So Fat Boys, if you don't know, the first first people in the hip hop genre to get their own movie. Fat Boys have been crushing it. They crushed the numbers. They've been like basically brought hip hop to like past Curtis Blow. They brought it to even more like kind of profitable, marketable thing.
I definitely got that.
They're influential in the sense of the fact that they made people look at hip hop and be like, this shit's viable.
You can, I think you definitely see the sort of like LL Cool J, Run DMC sort of. I don't know if they came after or before.
Fat Boys is earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
It's at least a similar time.
Yeah, because I could definitely see that, and it was just sort of like that typical 80s hip hop sort of style that you got. But then as well, they mixed it in with like other different genres. Like I know that there was a reggae track on there.
Yeah, I wanted Fat Boys crushing on vinyl for so long, but they have like there's 3 members. One of them like does his own beatboxing as well. Like it's straight fun hip hop from like 2 MCs as well that are just funny.
Yeah.
And they have that fun vibe.
Yeah, you got that definitely like the light-hearted sort of taking it easy vibe.
You can enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's
100%.
Like it's a best of, and you do get some good tracks, but it does miss Stickum. Fat Boy's best song, in my opinion.
Right, I agree. Very good album. Next up is The Heavy, the house that dirt built. That's a bit of a tongue twister.
I recognise the other song now. I recognise
Short Change Hero.
Yeah, I listened to it again.
Borderlands 2 gang rise up.
Fist bump me there.
I still think that I don't feel like I'm just gonna get like backlash, but like I feel like it is just sort of like an Arctic Monkey. It just reminds me of Arctic Monkeys, like Fluorescent Adolescent, that sort of vibe. And then just maybe like throw in a couple more instruments and different sort of ways to go about it. But yeah, it didn't really click with me, to be honest.
I don't really. I won't cause any problems with this. I don't like Arctic Monkeys whatsoever.
Yeah, but you don't listen, you like this album.
This like this band, I don't know about. I think they released an album that I've not listened to. But on this album, I do enjoy the kind of the building blocks they added on to like that sound that Arctic Monkeys has been comfortable in for the entirety of the fucking career.
I mean, you could listen to Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino. That's definitely a weirder sort of direction.
But it's bad. But whereas this one, like you get like the Short Change Hero, which is possibly like
the greatest song ever.
It's in terms of songs of this album, it's probably the second most known.
After How You Like Me Now.
After How You Like Me Now.
But it will be because of Borderlands too. That's how I discovered the album. album. I heard it in a game soundtrack and thought, wow, it's quite a good song, so I'll listen to the album. Yeah. And I was a bit disappointed because the song itself is better than the album, but it works for me.
Yeah. And that's like the thing. Like I listen to
This ain't no place for no hero.
I listen to that, and then at the end of Borderlands 2, when you get it and the credits roll up, it plays How You Like Me Now, and I'm there like, oh, I recognize How You Like Me Now, and then I look up, I was like, Borderlands 2 opening song, and it come up with like the Short Change Hero, and it was the same band, and I was like, the same album as well, and I was like,
yeah, it's a big difference.
And then I like that. I like the fact that it's not a technically impressive album.
Yeah.
But it's a sonically impressive one in the sense of it does nothing out of the ordinary too much, but it has its own sounds all the way through it. It keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. Right. Next up is Flume. Classic. Got to put one Flume in at least.
Of course. I was expecting a Flume
Skin
album.
Companion EP1.
And Alex Mainstay.
I think when I first listened to it, because I saw it was an EP, and I was just like, oh, it's only like 20 minutes, I'll just shove it in and just give it a listen. I think I was listening through it, and I was just like, after listening to Hi I Am Flume, This Is
Flume.
Yeah, I think it was just sort of what I was expecting, and then the last track came on, and I was sat there with my headphones on, and I just got tingles down my back, and I was just freaking out at the sounds that were coming out of it. I played it out loud, and my dog was tripping. I was like, what is going? Like, I think that if it wasn't for that song, I just wouldn't really. I just see it as just like another Flume project, but that song just brings it all together. I just think that was really cool.
I think 4 tracks, and I didn't really know what to expect because I remember to listen to this like the first track. The glitchiness wasn't as forefront as it is in other Flume projects. I was like,
but then when you get to Heater, it's
and
then Quirk as well. It kind of builds up.
Yeah,
which is what I like about it.
Because you're like, how's he gonna do an album without basically what Flume has made his name on?
Exactly.
Like not like a little EP, but.
Exactly, as well. It's only an EP.
It's still like it's
impressive. One of Flume's earlier projects, which is what I like about it as well.
But I must admit that Quirk, I got strong like ASMR influence on that track.
Definitely. From the beginning, I was like freaking out. Like I just never felt like this before ever. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, there is a lot of Flume songs that do that.
Nice one. I'll give it a listen.
It was strange hearing like whispered, like I was like, I've accidentally like gone on like YouTube and typed in like an ASMR video because you're getting like little like noises like that sound like they're just done from the house, like he could just be tapping on like pots and pans or like pens or something, and you're getting like a whispered voice, and then this kind of like looming kind of bass that just kind of settles underneath it like some background noise, and you're there like, this is really good.
Right, well, last up we have Sigur Ros with Tack ellipses.
I want to see what you made of this album because I mean I enjoyed it, and I think some of the longer cuts were very, very nice. I just thought it was really melancholic. I loved the instrumentation. I loved the voice. What you got to say, Mickey?
I could have slept. And not like
100%
not in the ASMR or like the soothing sense. I just found it
boring,
and I don't mean to like, it sounds like insulting, but it just doesn't scratch any of like the palette like that I have. It was like, it's so understated. Like if you like understated music, that will do you solid. But for me,
I have to admit, this was it was a toss-up for my last pick between this and Jim Morrison's American Prayer, which is a very good album, but I just couldn't decide, so I threw this one in, and I kind of regret it now.
I mean, there's always time for more taste breakers.
Stay tuned for more.
Subscribe to the channel.
Right, anyways, we might as well do the plugs now. Thank you, Joe and Michael.
You're very welcome.
Thank you guys for listening. Check out the Vaping Bartender on Instagram. Over to Joe for the plugs.
Subscribe to the channel. Instagram, We Jam Packed. Follow us on Spotify, Jam Packed Podcast, to listen to our September jams. We'll see you in the next episode.
Make sure to listen to Tony Edwards on Rosendale Radio.
We might not be here next week, but we will definitely be back the week after that. We'll see you then.
See you guys soon.
Ciao.